Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Yeehaw Yadam, and I'm joined by Fernando Free. How's it going, guys?
Oof, this is very exciting. We're going to see a Magellan versus Luffy right now, and it's a one versus two battle. It looks like so. This is
I
very
mean,
cool.
it's a thematic battle, in the Impel Down struggle. If you guys have seen the series, we have a very iconic fight here. So we went ahead and tried to show you guys or showcase one of those cool fights in terms of the TCG. So hopefully it's going to be an interesting and enjoyable gameplay. I haven't seen much Luffy in Set 2. I haven't seen much Magellan, so I'm excited to see how they do. So we'll go ahead and let them know to get started in a little bit to not let you guys wait too long. Yes.
So, how do you feel about the Magellan leader as the choice for leader in set two?
I think he's really cool. I think the Impel Down package is excellent. Hannibal, little Sadie, both of the little jailer beasts, as well as the Magellan character card himself, are excellent character card choices, and I think it's going to be really cool to watch and how that interacts with the leader. Being able to go to 6K and for one Don, the magic number of 7, I'm excited.
And I feel we were talking about the other day. If you don't mind not having Onigashima in your deck, I feel that he is not a vanilla leader, which is something Purple hasn't had for a while. So he's kind of exciting.
It's kind of cool. So it looks like Magellan is going to go ahead and start off, and he has a fantastic start with his searcher, Hannibal. Hannibal going to go ahead and look at the top 5 cards, searching for an Impel Down card to add to your hand. So basically a Nami for the deck. It helps with early aggressions, Bonnies, Momos, anything that can come onto the board. And look, it just grabs a 2K.
Yeah, specifically the targets that you want to get for them mainly are the token, like you said, and also a Judgment of Hell, which is an impressive event card. So very
All
good
right, so we're
card.
going to go into the Luffy, which I think he forgot to get a Dawn, or are there 2 Dawn under the character? Hopefully there's 2 Dawn under the character. He's going to go ahead and attack for 5. We're going to go ahead and lose a Law promo card. He's going to go ahead and summon Little Sadie, which is going to go ahead and summon the Minotaur, and we're going on the offensive.
Yeah, so wide board from the player. We did not expect to be the aggressive player in this matchup, but it seems like he wants to get on the board early just to control the Luffy player a little bit.
Hold up, give me 1 second. I'm gonna go inside and see if I can fix the Dawn because it looks like they're both on odds for
Yeah, he's
some
supposed to have
reason.
one more. Yeah.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Uh, hey guys, real quick. You're both on odd number of Dawn. I think one of you needs to be on even. Yeah, got you guys. All right, so we fixed the scenario. We're at 4
Oh, there
Dawn, but I
you
think that's gonna really change the play here. I think he's gonna come down, use the Vista to KO the little Sadie, and then he still has access to his leader power to put him maybe up to 7. Maybe he wants to keep a Dawn up. Who knows?
So he does
Looks
do
like
the
he's gonna
seven
go for the
attack.
7. All right, and 7 is a good number. I don't think after playing, you played so many cards as the Magellan player. You've summoned 3 cards onto the board, so your hand isn't really big. Losing another 2 doesn't seem ideal. I agree with that take.
It feels like that kind of works into his game plan. Maybe he wants to make this game a sort of racing situation, and he's poised to win it as he has 2 creatures on his side versus only the Vista from the Luffy player. But as we know, Luffy can play, tall creatures. So we'll see.
Very easily. And I agree. I think Magellan is on the aggressive side right now, especially summoning the Minotaur. So for those of you that don't know, Little Sadie summons a Jailer Beast, right? For the cost of 3, you get a 3 and a 4. And the Minotaur is the double attacker. So if he went ahead and pumped that Minotaur with 5 Dawn, that guy'd be swinging 2 checks at 10.
That's too
Block this
damage,
one,
no matter
brother.
what.
Yeah, that guy's going in. So he's going to go at, okay, we're doing a little deciding here. It looks like we attacked for 5, double, so he went ahead and countered out of it with a Nico Robin. Gonna
Yeah.
go ahead and lose a life off of the Magellan. And do we see a Magellan coming down? Ooh,
Oh, it is. Oh,
Magellan summons Magellan. So that's gonna go ahead
pretty
and
cool.
Dawn -1, make his leader go to 6, and then he's gonna go ahead and Dawn -1 his opponent, which is really, really powerful. Putting your opponent on that Dawn -1 is a very strong effect.
He had John at the beginning of the game. He Magellan affected himself because he knew it was coming later on
Oh,
anyway.
that's what it was. That's why he was
That's what it
already.
was.
Oh, understood. But definitely, and also Magellan has a secondary effect for those of you that don't know. On KO, if you KO Magellan, you just lose another 2 Dawn.
Yeah, so
So you
Dawn
gotta
control
kind of
coming out
ignore
of
him.
set two, which is very nice. And honestly, how devastating is this Dawn -1 for the Luffy player? A lot of Luffy threats happen to be odd, and he can also mitigate a little bit of his Dawn usage with his leader effect. So maybe the Magellan more of a body than the actual effect itself. We'll see
Well,
what
we're
happens.
gonna go see a Trafalgar Law promo card being summoned here. I'm assuming it's gonna go ahead and yeah, it's gonna go ahead and target the Minotaur, as Minotaur is a very threatening card that could present lethal in just a couple of turns. So it's gonna go ahead and use Luffy's effect to put one Dawn on the Vista. He's gonna go 4 at 3. We'll just 2k out of it with the Shiki Film
He
2k.
defends it, yeah.
And I think he just goes 6 at 4 here. I don't see a reason why not. And that should surely be able to KO it.
And
And that's threat down, threat down.
yeah, so definitely taking care of the board this turn, but he's not inflicting that much life damage. And as we know, the purple player does probably have even bigger bombs in the deck so far. So this sort of aggressive strategy paying off, protecting his life in the early game.
No, certainly, certainly. And I mean, there are very great purple options in the Impel Down archetype. But most specifically, there's a lot of good options from the Animal Kingdom pirates as well, as you still get access to both kings. You get access to Queen. You get access to a very powerful, just purple good stuff. I think you only miss out on very few cards just by not being Kaido. So we'll see what he does here. He goes, puts one on the Hannibal, because Hannibal very rarely gets to attack, but finally he gets to at least deal with one character. So I'm down. Hannibal getting in there. And then we're going to see another 5 be played for another Magellan. Oh, we're going to see the king. Speaking of the Animal Kingdom pirates.
Yeah, so
Going to
this
come
is
down. Yeah.
a full board clear,
Full board
effectively, and he has
And now
two
he's going to
large
attack with
threats.
6k twice. He's going to go with the character card first, which is good because if he hits a pistol with his leader, he can't, he's kind of, hedging his odds. Speaking of the jet pistol with his, I am literally observation hockey, my guy.
Does he?
But well played by the purple player, as he, kind of hedged his bets about hitting that possible card right there.
But
And
here's
playing
the
around
interesting
it.
part. Does he actually want to use a jet pistol? Because he'll just lose 2 Dawn, and going into his turn, he won't be able to effectively answer this 2-threat board from the other side. So this
And
is a crazy
that's what's so
situation.
scary. That's what's so
Yeah.
scary about Magellan. The only times that it feels okay dealing with him, and that's what makes him. And we're talking, and literally he goes jet pistols to Magellan anyways. It's just a big body. We're gonna go ahead and get Dawn -2 because of the Magellan effect. I believe the Magellan effect is all turns or just on KO.
Should be, right?
There's no way it's like opponent's turn or something. Let me go ahead and just verify.
Oh, it could be. Well, we've seen effects like that before, but I want to say it's always.
I just want to double check. No, specifically Magellan says on opponent's turn.
Oh my god! So the jet pistol
So
actually the
see what I
perfect
mean? The
answer
jet pistol
in
was
that
the
scenario.
perfect answer, but at least I'm glad he attacked with the Magellan character card. Or if he really wanted to, he could have played one Dawn on the Magellan and not had the Hannibal swing.
So interesting resolutions all around, but the Luffy player kind of getting the jet pistol in the exact perfect moment, actually.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's very interesting. They made it just on your opponent's turn on KO, which is very bizarre. But I'll take it. It's very similar to like a Borzolino-esque effect.
Exactly.
So
A lot of cards like that.
all
Okay,
right,
so with a
so
little bit more board control, the Luffy players now just cleaning up the small character and then attacking with Zoro.
So we'll see a 5 from leader, and he takes, and then a Zoro going to go ahead and pitch a 2k to combo out of the Zoro. But we still have a king. We don't feel terrible about playing the king. And we've used all our Dawn effectively, and, we've had a pretty good turn. We've Vista'd, we Zoro'd, and we Nami'd. So looking pretty nice. Nami's going to go ahead and add a Sanji 2k from the OP01 set. And back to Magellan. Man, what a crazy last turn.
Yeah, incredible back and forth between. It looked like Luffy was starting to get behind in this game, and then all of a sudden, between the help from his life and then using all his own effectively, he was able to come back a little bit. So, pretty good. Let's see how the Magellan deals with. How much Dawn is the Magellan player at right now?
So the Magellan player should be at 8, which is going to go ahead and be another king.
Okay.
The king's going to go ahead and come down.
Do you feel like maybe he should have attacked the Zoro before using the king effect? Because now he has to swing at life, and the Luffy player could choose to take this damage. So
Yeah, I think he really should have tried to maybe like make him discard a couple cards in his hand. The Luffy's hand, I can't really tell exactly how many cards there is, but just by guessing how this game has played out, the fact that Nami has replaced herself and he's taken quite a bit of life, going all the way down to 0.
Defending.
Yeah, he has about maybe 8 to 9 cards in hand. It's going to be quite difficult. It's going to be quite difficult to finish off this game, but with a couple of 7k bodies on the board, it might not be too hard.
Maybe
So
he
we'll,
has a couple of blockers in hand and he's trying to leverage. Even if he does 0 life, he'll be able to block a couple of times and the opponent won't be able to effectively use Dawn. But it's still very scary to be at 0 life in this scenario.
no, most certainly, most certainly. So it's gonna go ahead and we have the Vista, we have the Nami. Let's see what ends up happening here. Uh, he's gonna have to have quite a bit of cards to really get out of this because these 7K bodies are really going to be very. They're going to pressure his hand immensely. They're going to tax him for each of those swings with 0 Dawn investments, at least 2 cards out of the hand or an event, which is very very difficult to combo out of or get out of in general. He's going to need maybe an assortment of blockers, 2Ks. I don't know. How do we get out of this?
I feel like the Magellan passive has really put in a lot of work. He's been able to attack for 6 and 7 multiple times this game, and it's effectively equaled what a Kaido burn would have, right? So I feel like it's been quite good tempo-wise.
And you didn't have to Dawn -7, huh?
Yeah, pretty good.
So we'll go ahead and play a Jet Pistol here. Jet Pistol, the only viable target is the Hannibal.
Maybe he thought that he could combo that card with various attack modifying cards, but he didn't have any at the time. So
And then we'll use Luffy's effect, add an extra 2, so we'll go 2 above the king, but if we just pitch cards out of our hand, we're effectively going to burn our opponent's hand as well, right? So he's going to burn us from 2. We're going to go down to 2 cards left, I believe, for the Magellan player, but on the crackback, we're going to be able to tax our opponent immensely here, right?
and then
So our opponent, it's looking
there's
like
those
he has
blocker
1,
choppers
2,
we were
3,
talking
4.
about.
Yeah, so there he goes, the double chopper. He has 5 cards in hand, no Dawn active, so we're not having to play against any events. So if there's 4 cards, we know, sorry, 5 cards, we know one of them is a Sanji.
Mhm.
We just sort of have to, we gotta go 2 above everything. So let's see how he goes ahead and places all this Dawn. He's at exactly 10 Dawn and not in any threat of really losing this game. So maybe he can just use this turn to go on the offense and burn his opponent's hand. And
Definitely
clean it
would
up on the
say
following.
so. How much would go in? 9 with each, I would say. Would be
9 is
the
a fantastic number, especially with no Dawn up. That's going to require a chopper for sure. Or it's going to burn at least 3 cards out of his hand. And then he's going to go ahead and
he's
play
gonna tap down the other
Douglas
one.
Bullet, right? So
That's so
Douglas
cool.
Bullet is a 5-drop Dawn -1. Rest a character, I believe, 4 cost or less. Kind of like Yamato, but
Mhm.
with counter power and with the Dawn Mising effect. So he's going to go and swing for 7 and then swing for 8 using all of the Dawn that he possibly can. And oh boy, that's Luffy Shanks. And it looks like Magellan has just taken Luffy out of this game, taking it for round 1.
Let's just take a moment to analyze just how good that bullet was in that scenario. It's just incredibly Dawn efficient, tapping down a blocker and giving the leader an extra buff while also not using all your Dawn for the turn. So incredibly good card in that scenario. That was nice.
It was funny. It was the Douglas Bullet was just like a cat viper, like a really expensive cat viper. But even on, even at the worst, where it is just like an overstated cat viper, you do just have this huge body. I think it has a 6K stat line. It's a 5/6 with 1K counter, and the fact that it was able to just steal the game makes it just a little bit better. So you don't really get to see Douglas Bullet come down too often, but I'm excited to see him come down for game.
So it's pretty good there.